we're definitely not starting off with that.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
we started.
No. House divided. We are going to talk about what the Buckeyes may have missed out on here in just a moment. But before we get into that, Elite 11 finals are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
There are, I think, 20 quarterbacks. Amongst them are obviously Dylan Raiola, Prentice, Aaron Noland, Jaden Davis.
Yeah, there you go.
Amongst some other quarterbacks. Huh?
The first guy.
I guess. Yeah. DJ Lagway, I think, is in there. Florida State's quarterback. I think Georgia's other quarterback that they just got, who's not Raiola, which is nuts. He's going to be in there. So it's a couple of different quarterbacks. And obviously, if you're not aware, Elite 11 is a quarterback competition. I think they've been doing it for about 25 years.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
Plenty of quarterbacks, guys like CJ Stroud, guys like Bryce Young, Andrew Luck. Quite a few different quarterbacks have kind of gone through this same process. It's a really good look to see a lot of these guys before they become obviously the quarterbacks of the schools that they're going to. And, both of our guys are in it.
I thought it was real funny, though, that it had a regional recently where, they both Aaron Nolan and Jaden Davis were just there, were there. And they gave Aaron Nolan his invite there at the camp to the Elite 11. And, Jaden Davis didn't get his camp invite. And then the very next week he gets invited to the Elite 11. And it's just like...
that's one of those things where, it's probably going to happen. But you got to, shout out your guy first.
Oh, man. He was great throwing in shorts against no defense with no rush and no offensive line. So if we set up those parameters, Aaron Nolan is the far better quarterback on that day. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not even that he could do that tomorrow or the next day or the next day or the next day. It just means today he was better in shorts with no offensive line, throwing against no defense.
I mean, but everybody was doing that same thing.
No. I'm going to say everybody had the same parameters. Yeah. I'm just saying that's not football.
No, it's not. It's not.
Like, yeah, I'm really good at catch.
But then you're adding...
I'm elite at catch.
But then you're adding the extra obstacles for everybody once they actually start playing as well.
Look, no disrespect to the Elite 11. I'm sure they set up some of the most difficult, quarterback drills you can go through as an individual, doing that at that level. Yeah. I'm positive of it. I think Trent Dilfer is the one running it, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Super Bowl winner. Hey, look, no disrespect at all. I think even he would say this is not the barometer of what these guys are going to go on and do at their schools. Like, yeah, does this tell us who has the best mechanics, who's got the best motion, best footwork, most powerful arm? It's just now you have to translate that with about 20 pounds of pads, maybe less now because them things look light as hell.
Yeah.
10 to 15 pounds worth of pads with a person trying to stop you from doing it.
300-pound lineman.
Better yet, 11 people are trying to stop you from doing it collectively.
Fair, because then you got DBs.
It's. I first of all, I don't understand why they don't throw against defense at the Elite 11. I guess the no contact thing is a no brainer. I understand that.
But you should have some sort of obstacle of.
But fam, why are we not? DB. Why are we throwing against air?
There should be some sort of coverage.
Like, to me, the best barometer of how a guy plays or what his baseline is not what he's doing when he's unimpeded. It's what he's doing when he's under stress.
Yeah.
But that's a me thing. That's a me thing.
That's all fair. And to your point, it's not football. It's not actually football.
It's not real football.
But you got to take your bragging rights where you can.
No, I mean, obviously, CJ Stroud went to Elite 11 and ended up being the guy, the guy of that class. So, him and Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Him and Bryce Young. But the two guys that showed out at that camp ended up being the guys who had the best careers out of that class.
And ended up becoming, 1 and 2
in the draft. In the NFL draft. So if that's any telltale sign for things to come for Jaden Davis and Prentice, then hey, cool. I'll take that.
That's air to
his
you.
Mama named him Prentice. I'll call him Prentice.
We can call him Prentice.
Air is a little too cool for Ohio State quarterback.
Fire. That's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the June 2nd visits. So a lot of kids are setting up their official visits. Most of them have started this week, or at least this is one of the first big weeks of official visits to last through the month of June. For us, Michigan and Ohio State, the biggest weeks seem to be the 16th and the 23rd, which kind of end out the month of June.
16th, I believe we got your boy, Mr. Scott.
Yeah, you got Aaron. Yeah. Funny enough, I did want to mention that Aaron Scott's the 16th. I think Bryce West is the 23rd. Or no. Bryce West is maybe the 9th then? They're not visiting Michigan at the same time.
Same time, no.
But they're visiting Ohio State, I think, that last week together.
That's fun. That's if Aaron gets down there.
Well, my thought is that neither one of them will make a decision.
When are they going together to Ohio State?
The 23rd. So after they both had their Michigan visits. Yeah. My thought is
smart on Ohio State's end, get them both in at the same time.
No,
after
for sure.
The Michigan visit.
I think that neither one of them are going to make their decision until after the 23rd, whether it be Michigan or Ohio State, because I think they want to probably see each other at Ohio State. And kind of, I think they're at least somewhat familiar with each other.
They know each other.
And may want to work with each other.
They got FaceTime. They know what they want to do. If they know they want to play together, they already know what it is.
But they might not know where. And so them both going to see Michigan and them both going to see Ohio State, I think they'll make their decision afterwards.
We'll see how it plays out.
I'm thinking whether it be Michigan or Ohio State, I don't know. But
we'll see how it plays out.
I think that's how they'll make their decision.
That kind of stuff is always like, to me, it's distraction because it makes sense, right? If you just kind of thinking it through logically, it makes a lot of sense. But then does it outweigh what got us here? And what got us here is, okay, who's going to get me in the NFL? Where am I going to win? Where am I going to play? I mean, if we've checked all three of those boxes and we're still in the hunt, him going on a visit with Bryce West shouldn't outlast that. You know what I mean? But the only thing that fucks that up is if he was already leaning towards Ohio State in the first place. Yeah. I don't think the Bryce West visit necessarily is what gets him over the hump, I guess.
No. I agree with that. I do think it's probably somewhat of a contingent, or it's somewhat on there. It's on that list.
It gives you a chance to try and chip away at their last argument.
Yeah.
Right? Now, they're going to have Michigan meeting is going to have Aaron Scott up on the 16th. They're going to talk to him. They're going to give their best swing. They're going to try to get him to commit. Mm-hmm. If not, he's going to leave, and they're going to leave him alone. And they're going to let him deliberate and go take the rest of his visits. Mm-hmm. At that point in time, while Michigan is allowing them to deliberate, he's going to be going on his visit to Ohio State.
Yeah.
So that gives them a chance to try and put a wedge in between whatever you just heard from Michigan and us. We're going to have the final word. We're going to be the last ones to talk to you. Mm-hmm. So if whatever they did wasn't strong enough to convince you, here's where we're going to chip away at it right now. That's and right. Oh, yeah, by the way, we got the other number one corner in your state, or the other top two corner in your state here deliberating the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So Bryce West is actually, June 9th. So he's upcoming. He's next week June for y'all. And then Aaron Scott's the 16th. And then they both see each other in Columbus on the 23rd. So I don't know. I just think that'd be interesting. It's a little, nice little thing that they got going on. I can't remember who all you guys have visiting this week.
This week is your boy Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson's coming up this week. They've got the transfer from UMass, the guy that they're courting right now, the cornerback. He was there this weekend. He was there for 2 days. Mm-hmm. And then I believe the guy from Notre Dame, the guy who just decommitted from Notre Dame, the edge, Waffle, should be coming up on the 16th, I believe.
Waffle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Waffling on his commitment.
Yikes.
But yeah, no. First of all, out of this first week, I think the objective has to be signing Brian Robinson, man. Don't flirt around so long that we can't fit Brian Robinson into this class. Man, the Larry Johnson offer is not coming because they think you're coming to Michigan. You're gonna fuck around and lose out on both schools and end up at fucking Penn State or Kentucky.
Ugh.
All right, don't fuck around. You know where you want to go. I feel like the Ohio State offer is more so for respect at this point, because what the fuck would you look like sitting around waiting for this offer this late in the date, going into your senior season, still not having it, and then the moment you get it, you drop out of hat. That doesn't. I've seen women of the night behave with more respect than that. So I'm just saying, I've seen working women just respect themselves more than that. So I at this point, I don't think there's anything else he needs to see. He's been to Michigan 11 times. Been a Michigan lean. Maybe Kentucky is really driving a wedge. But I mean, what you gonna do down there, man? What you gonna do? You gonna be a standout at Kentucky? Well, congratulations. Congrats.
Yeah, bro.
Worked wonders for Will Levis, didn't it?
No.
He was an unhappy camper there on draft night.
Facts.
So I'm just saying, man. Come to the good guys. Do what you want to do. Win the championship. Be one of those edges. Be an Ajabo. Be an Uche. Be a Pay. Be a Winovich. Be a Gary.
Gross.
I'm just saying.
Gross.
Be one of them.
Don't do it. Go to Kentucky.
Why? For what?
It's the SEC. It just matters more. Anyway.
Or why don't you have your man Larry Johnson? Give my boy an offer that he seems to want so damn bad that he's been waiting around for forever. I honestly don't think he would take it at this point because they waited so long. But
we'll see.
Make an offer, maybe.
We'll see. We've got a couple of D-line prospects. Dominic McKinley, who's from Louisiana. It seems like he's a pretty hard LSU lean, which it's really hard to get guys out of Louisiana.
Oh, no. The top D lineman, dude, Justin Scott, he's coming in on the 9th, I believe. We don't have a shot, though. We don't have a shot. Miami got his pockets full of money already.
Yeah.
Got his pockets full of money already. The fact that Miami is still paying players out the ass and they are actively being investigated, or the dude that headed up their NIL collectives is actively being investigated, is nuts.
Very much so.
Like, man, they don't give a fuck. They said pedal to the metal. Keep going.
Yeah.
Let him get ate up. We have payers to play, baby. We got players to pay.
Yikes. So yeah, we're dealing with that. And then we've got Nigel Smith, who's the other D-line prospect, who it seems like that's going to be a lot closer of a pick. He's a 4-star from Texas. Peyton Pierce, who's already committed to us, seems to really want him to come to Ohio State and has been kind of trying to pull him our way. He's already tweeted about how much free stuff he's getting from Ohio State in his nice little hotel room.
He
So
called y'all hoes, basically.
No, he didn't. He's like, oh my gosh, there's more.
Look at these sluts.
There's more stuff.
Look at him. Why you keep begging? Swipe left.
No, bro.
Swipe left.
No, bro. He is happy. He is content.
Look at this attention grab here. Swipe
That's
left.
nuts. No, he is happy. That man is very happy. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get him turned around.
To bolster the defensive recruiting, right?
Yeah, we'll see. He seems to maybe be looking at a couple of Texas schools. I think Texas, I think A&M, and then Oklahoma. A&M don't even. Oklahoma don't even. Come roll with some actual winners out of those 4 groups.
Oh boy, now
those 4 teams.
Now he's taking shots at Oklahoma and who was that team?
Oklahoma, Texas, and Texas A&M.
Oh well, A&M's not a winner. Texas.
I mean, you know what I mean.
But Texas is back this year. No, Texas is back this year.
Ohio State never left.
They're
so
back.
I mean,
no, but Texas is back though.
Are they?
They're back.
They don't have Bijan anymore, so
You got Quentin Ewers and Arch Manning, bro. They're gonna run a 2.
Do they have
system.
targets?
They're gonna run a 2 QB system. They're gonna go Philly special. Back to Quentin Ewers.
Are they even gonna beat Bama?
I mean,
maybe
that's not where I would start in terms of judging them on their season, though. Are they going to beat Bama? And they got to do it in Tuscaloosa.
Well, they're still in the Big 12 for now, so yeah, I guess I wouldn't judge it too much. But
you know what? You're right, because they are going to the SEC the next year, following year. So
we'll see.
Thanks.
I mentioned the Buckeyes possibly missing out on something, and it involves one Dylan Raiola. It seems to me that Dylan Raiola is really good. You know, like we mentioned with Bryce West and Aaron Scott talking with each other. We talked about Peyton Pierce and Nigel Smith talking with each other. It seems Dylan Raiola is really good at controlling this thing and talking to other top players and trying to recruit them to wherever he goes, and which obviously right now is Georgia. He's got the ear, obviously, of Jeremiah Smith at some level. At some level, he's got that ear. Now, I think we can kind of combat what Dylan Raiola is saying with the fact that we are wide receiver U at the moment. So, like, where are you going to go besides us? But then he's got, like, top tackle prospect Brandon Baker, and it's just like, man, like, missing out on him now is starting to feel a little bit different at the very least.
Did he already commit to Georgia?
He did not. And actually, I think he's an Oregon lean. Baker? But at the very least, I seen an interview with him, and he's talking like, yeah, you know, Dylan's talking to me about possibly coming to Georgia, and so they're high on my list. And listening to him, knowing that I think he has Ohio State somewhere in his list, he barely mentioned Ohio State. And I'm just like, fuck. And I think the one thing he said about Ohio State was the fact that, like, oh yeah, like, it seemed good when Dylan was going there, but now, like, with Dylan going to Georgia, he's talking to me about that. And it's just like, he might have just pulled some of, our other recruits away because he's not going there
anymore. Fine then, Brandon. If you wouldn't like to have one of our last offensive line spots on a Joe Mora winning offensive line, then go on to Oregon then. Sheesh. No, I really thought that they might fill out the last spot on the offensive line with the number one tackle in the country. But, I mean, hey.
You guys have definitely filled it out.
We don't need ya.
Definitely filled out in the trenches this year. But
yeah,
it's not enough. Anyway.
Well, not enough for what exactly?
It's not enough. We're taking the games back. Anyway.
I'm glad that you're confident, because there's not going to be really much of an excuse this year, and I'll just get to watch you stew in it. Now that I know that your angst are high and your hopes are high, I know that crash down to reality is just going to be so much more sweet.
Well, 3 games to
more sweet.
A 17-3 record. I mean,
What's 17-3?
The 20 year, I think the 20 years before these last 2 games.
You want to know why I know y'all gonna keep on losing? Because that's y'all's attitude. It wasn't until we finally broke down and was like, damn, they just better. It don't matter what happened 20 years ago. It don't matter that we're leading in this series.
Did y'all ever really do that?
Doesn't matter. What do you mean? Yeah, we were forced into it. We were forced into it.
Yeah, 20 years of being...
Okay. So let's see how long it takes for y'all to come to that realization.
Well, he would have to take the majority of a 20-year swing.
We don't see, and that's the thing. You keep putting the number on it. Oh, well, we did it for 20 years, so it's still not the same as what we did. And you say that year over year over year over year. Let's see how long it takes you to actually get it.
Well, a three-peat for you guys would.
It doesn't have to be 20 years to be better. It could be 2. It could be 1. It doesn't have to be a long stretch for it to be better. And
well, from what I'm seeing on the interwebs, it would seem like some people are starting to lean more towards, hey, I mean, I guess we can lose to Michigan as long as we win the national championship.
Ooh, if that becomes the norm, if that becomes the talking point,
well,
I was wondering what would break first. Well, your spirit or your body.
But then at that point, what does beating us matter if you're not winning the national championship afterwards? Because I would assume that would be the next goal for y'all.
Sad day, boy.
Well, no, yes, I'm saying literally.
For me as a Michigan fan, if we start getting to a point of beating Ohio State perpetually, where it's a guarantee, yes, naturally my focus will start looking beyond Ohio State. It is utterly pathetic for an Ohio State fan to be currently losing to Michigan and then talk about the prospect of perpetually losing to Michigan, but saying, you know what, it's all right as long as you're not going on and having further success.
Oh, no. That's not what we're saying. absolutely not what I'm saying. I'm not saying y'all not going on to win the national championship, but then y'all beat us. That is a no. Absolutely not. If you guys are beating us and we're not getting anything after that, that's no, absolutely not. We have to beat y'all. There's nothing else there. That's a non-starter. I'm saying if we lose to y'all, but then still go on to win the national championship afterwards.
But that is like, it's this like backdoor. Like it used to be, Ohio State, Michigan is the championship. Like whoever wins this game.
But then when you get to a 12-team playoff, that's a little different.
Well, sure, but we ain't in 12 teams yet.
No, we're not.
And even when we get to 12 teams, I hope they find a way to kind of mash this thing up so that we don't have to play 3 weeks in a row. That we're not going to play the game and then play in the Big Ten championship and then play in the first round of the damn playoff. Like talk about destroying the rivalry.
Yeah.
Like this, it's not basketball. I don't want to play Ohio State 3 times in a year.
Fair.
Hell, if I play you again, I want it to be in a national championship. I don't want it to be for a conference title after I just beat you. Oh, but those are the best 2 teams. Fam, they're on your schedule. So if you don't beat someone on your schedule, you suffer. That's football.
Yeah.
Like all the division talk, really pisses me off. Because you know when divisions are stupid? In the Big Ten. You know when they're not stupid? In the SEC. Divisions are fine in the SEC. They play 8 conference games. Right? Even though they're adding 2 more teams to get to 12. Divisions are fine. Division construction could use some work. If all the talent is on one side of your conference, that would make things imbalanced.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean the divisions themselves are the problem. It just means who makes them up is the issue. You telling me that if we just implant UCLA and USC to the West, take one team that's currently on the West, move them over to the East. So now Purdue's in the East instead of the West. But UCLA and USC are in the West. And Purdue's in the East. Okay? We're balanced in terms of numbers. It's better geographically. Because a trip from Iowa or Wisconsin to Southern California, while still daunting and across a couple time zones, is much more feasible than from Piscataway.
Yeah.
Or from College Park, Maryland.
Yeah.
So it makes sense in terms of your scheduling as well. We talked about this before, man. The fact that there are so little people talking this through logically, it's probably like Josh Pate and some other guy I saw talking on some random sports podcast where he's talking about people talking about divisions needing to go away are stupid. Because it is. Divisions need to go away? No, you know what we should do? We should convolute it even more and go to 4 pods and have some sort of round robin scenario.
No.
Like what the
what? No.
Pods? You're gonna create a new come on, man.
No.
Come on, man. So what? Pods like divisions in the NFL?
No, thank you. I'm good.
Like a conference made up of divisions like the NFL?
I'm cool.
How does it not make sense to leave the conference, leave the divisions, one side versus the other, and just put the 2 teams that are closest geographically to the Western Conference in the West? And then one team that's borderline geographically, East or West, over to the East. Bada boom, bada bang. Problem solved.
We're going back to leaders and legends.
It wouldn't matter what you call it as long as the conference is balanced and it makes sense in terms of scheduling.
Yeah.
But then you'd have Ohio State, USC in the Big Ten Championship. You'd have Michigan, UCLA.
You wouldn't have that.
Well, you probably have Michigan, USC. More likely. I was just trying to be nice.
You wouldn't have that either. Nice. You had it right the first time.
I was trying to be nice.
Well, you said it the first time, so.
Then teams like Illinois make an ascension. Teams like Wisconsin, Nebraska.
Yeah.
How are we so excited for teams like Wisconsin, Nebraska, Illinois, but then simultaneously saying that their division shouldn't exist? Now that's a head scratcher. Everybody and their mama think Luke Fickell about to turn Wisconsin around, but nobody wants Wisconsin to have a chance to win the West and compete with Ohio State and Michigan at the end of the year in a championship game. Somebody explain to me what the conversation is happening here.
I couldn't.
Is it divisions that are stupid, or is it the configuration of the division that's stupid currently? I would argue it's the configuration.
I would agree.
You wouldn't throw your car away because you need an oil change. That's going to be it for me, man. Give us your thoughts on everything discussed, recruiting-wise, divisions in the Big Ten, college football playoff implications, all of that kind of stuff. Give us your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Come back every week for another episode of House Divided.
Absolutely, and make sure you check out our previous video where we discussed the new look Iowa Hawkeyes. And then from there, make sure you subscribe. Like you said, we like to do this quite a bit.